Hi guys, how are you today?
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, happy Monday, everyone.
happy Monday. Happy Monday shouldn't be happy. I heard that you guys are having examination. That true? From MIA, right?
Not me.
I'm not.
I'm not from MIA.
Oh, you're not from MIA.
Yeah.
Which club are you from?
What? Beg your pardon?
Which club are you from?
Which car?
Club.
Oh, no. I'm a guest.
Oh, you're a guest.
Yeah, I'm
Welcome.
finding a club which suitable for me. Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
welcome.
here.
Welcome to our meeting.
Okay. And are you a member of MIA?
No, I'm member of UMTMC in
Oh,
Malaya.
oh, okay.
Because this is a joint meeting between our club and MIA.
Oh, okay.
So we will have mix of people between two clubs.
Okay. These
Good
few
to
days
see you
I
here.
joined. These few days I participate in a few meetings, right? Most of them have a joint meeting.
Yeah, it's sometimes we will have joint meetings when we wanted to collaborate with another clubs, or sometimes we are lacking of role players. Because joint meetings you can have members from both clubs participating, so it will be more members joining in a meeting compared to the regular meeting.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons we do joint meeting. Why is my okay? Hi, Peter. Which one you are from, Peter?
Hey, I'm from SIMA Malaysia Toastmaster Club.
Oh, CIMA, CIMA, right?
Yes.
May I know how would you join the meeting? By clicking the link on your email, or somebody send you the link?
Sorry, you mean the invitation to this meeting?
Yeah, I mean, how could you join this meeting? How would you?
It was a link that sent by Jeff, and I had to register myself, so I got a register. Was it a no?
The
It was
email,
an
right?
invitation link. Yes.
So just click the link, then it will direct you to here.
I had to register myself first, then
Okay.
only I able to join this meeting.
Okay. With or without password?
With the passcode.
So the passcode is included in the email already, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, good to hear that.
Right, we have 1 more minute to go.
Jeff said that he may be late for the meeting. So let's
Yes,
see.
he informed me as well.
Okay, sure. What role is he taking? Jeff. Oh, Jeff is not taking any role. Okay.
Okay, so it's 7 o'clock and I think we shall start the meeting. Okay, so welcome to Toastmasters Club joint meeting of MIA and UM. Before that, I would like to wish all members, especially those who celebrate it, Selamat Aidilfitri. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the celebration. Now I'll pass the floor to MIA Toastmasters Club President opening address, Shen Yang. Yeah.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear.
All right, great. It's nice to meet you all here. And yeah, this is actually another round of our joint meeting together with UM Toastmaster Club. And especially like today is also, I mean, in this period it's also a Raya period, and I hope that you all enjoy the meeting. You know, it's like during this celebration of Raya, right? It's, you know, what is Raya? Raya means like the end of breaking fast, but at the same time, it's also where we our Muslim friends also enjoy you know, the festivity, and also having appreciate what it is, what it means to be fasting, and at the same time, and actually really like also practice like compassionate with each other during this period. And but for at the same time, for me, right, during this period, right, I'm enjoying at home, watching TV, resting, and right now we are back to our work. I mean, for those people who are working, and for those students back to studying. So we are gonna hustle and achieve our own dreams and our own goals during in these years. So hopefully that you know, MCO, it's you know, during this MCO, I hope that things turn well. And really, I hope that everyone can stay home, and yeah, and in this, like for example, like in this meeting, right, just stay home, I watch YouTube or join meeting online. That will be great for everyone, right? So yeah, so I think there's not much from me, and I hope that it will be a fruitful result from the collaboration with MIA and Toastmasters. So yeah, we're gonna have fun in this meeting, right? So I'm gonna pass the floor to our Toastmaster of the evening. Who is that? Shamya, is it? Shamya.
Yes, quick amendment to the agenda. Samia couldn't make it to the meeting, so Sean will be the backup TME to replace Samia.
Oh, okay. Now I would like to pass the floor to Sean. Sean, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you, Shen, for that wonderful opening. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, welcome to the meeting collaboration between UM Toastmaster Club and MIA Toastmaster Club. As your Toastmaster of the evening, I'll be your MC for today, and I welcome members and guests to join us to celebrate and to wish all our Muslim friends Selamat Hari Raya to those who are celebrating. Now, today's theme is about Raya. And Raya, I think in many meaning, it means celebration, it means festivity. But to us, maybe Raya means something very different. This year is the second year that we have Raya done during the MCO period. And if you're following up on Facebook, a lot of us are celebrating in our own ways, in our small festivity. But I think it also means that Raya is about spending time with the family. And I hope that we are now all part of the Toastmaster family. We also celebrate our camaraderie and our friendship together through this virtual means of Zoom. Now, Toastmaster isn't just started in Malaysia very, very recently. I think Toastmaster has been around for almost 96 years. It started from Raffles Medley. During then, he was seeing the importance of young men to give a toast during ceremonies and thus call upon the importance of public speaking. Right now in UM and also in MIA, Division W also celebrated many clubs in Toastmasters, and I hope that for guests and for people who are joining, do inquire more about the benefits of Toastmasters Club, we have 11 pathways to offer. And today we have a few that will be doing their first icebreaker speech, because icebreaker, it's all about getting to know each other well as a lot of the more advanced speeches. Before we continue with the meeting, may I invite some of our role players to introduce their role. These are role players that will present their technical report at the end of this meeting. So without further ado, may I first invite the grammarian. Let me just open up the agenda. Those who are joining in through the phone, please mute yourself to ensure that we don't have any disturbance.
The meeting link has just been sent into the chat room for refer.
Okay. Inka, help me out on this. Who's the grammarian?
Okay.
Hi, I am.
The grammarian will be Josh Lay, Toastmaster.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Josh.
All right, Toastmaster Josh, over to you. Can you introduce the role of the grammarian?
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is exhilarated, which means extremely happy, excited, and full of energy. An example of using the word is, the first time I flew a plane alone, I felt both exhilarated and scared. Or, it is always exhilarated when participating in a table topics session. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Josh, for that wonderful introduction of the grammarian role. May I now invite the R counter, Toastmaster Chi Yu, to introduce the role of the R counter.
Okay, greetings, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Chi Yu. May I invite our timer, the Rolex of the evening, Toastmaster Kian Ting, to introduce the role of the timer, as well as demonstrate the timing device.
Okay, so thank you, Toastmaster for evening. So as a timer, the purpose is to timekeeping and also ensure that each meeting runs according to schedule, and in particular, the table topic session, assignment speeches, and evaluation session. So I'll now demonstrate the timing for the table topic session. Wait, me, I changed the background a bit. Sorry, not this one. So, okay. So the green light will light up at 1 minute for the table topic session, and the yellow light will light up when the speaker reach 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the red light will light up when the speaker reach 2 minutes. So that is the timing for table topic. So sorry for the clothing word. I will change the background as soon as possible. Yeah, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. And I think before the start of every project speech, I'll be also asking the timer to demonstrate the timing limit as well. So no worries. With that, I also would like to invite a very important role player in tonight's meeting, which is the general evaluator. May I invite Toastmaster Peter Gore from SEMA Toastmaster Club to introduce the role of the general evaluator as well as the other evaluators.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Sean. My name is Peter, and I will be the general evaluator for today's joint meeting. The role of general evaluator is to evaluate the meeting in general, and I will be leading the evaluation section. I do have a team of role players who will be assisting me, whereby I have speech evaluators and I also have technical evaluators. And I will be sharing my humble report at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Right now, I think we are coming to an exhilarating part of the Toastmaster meeting. This is the session where everybody is having their heartbeat pump a little bit faster and getting nervous to be presenting their speeches. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to our table topic master, Toastmaster 1 Amir, or more popularly known in UM as DJ Ash, to take over the table topic session. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Sean Kang, for the introduction. Now, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. Now, in a table topic session, you will be required to give a short speech on a random topic or prompt that I will be giving to you. This forces the speaker to think on their feet and create amazing speeches in their heads without much time to prepare. Now, every member has the opportunity to speak during a table topics. Guests are welcome to volunteer as well, and it's going to be really, really fun. Today, as your table topics master, I will be giving topics related to our theme, Raya. Now, I need the help from the timer for this. Timer, are you ready? Okay, again, your table topic speech must be at least 1 minute and can be no more than 2 minutes. You will see a green signal after 1 minute, which is your minimum time, a yellow signal at 1:30, and a red signal at 2 minutes, indicating that your time is up. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, which is exhilarated, which means extremely happy, excited, and full of energy. Now let me share my screen right now. Can someone allow me to share?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you, Kianteng.
Yeah, it's okay right now.
All right. Can you see the screen? Is it clear?
Yep,
Yes,
we
we can see your
Yes,
All
right.
right, great. Thank you. Now on the screen, you see various delicious Malaysian kuih raya. So choose one, and I will give the topic to you. So let's get started. Who wants to go first? Any volunteers from the audience? Volunteers? Anyone? Guests are welcome as well. Maybe members of MIA and UMTMC.
I would like to try.
Yes, go. Go ahead. Please choose one kuih raya from the selection.
Pineapple tart.
Pineapple tart. All right, pineapple tart. Let me see if this works. So your prompt, Gozian, is what is your favorite Malaysian celebration and why is that so?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, DJ Ash. One of my favorite Malaysian celebration will be, I think for my Chinese race, will be Chinese New Year. First of all, what I'm always excited about it is I can get an ang pao. Before I'm working, when I'm studying, I always accelerated in receiving ang pao because that is something like a sharing of happiness with the family, and of course, receiving my pocket money. The other thing about Chinese New Year is about lion dance, which once in a while, a group of Chinese, sometimes even Malay people will drive around with a lorry and using the lion head and dance, but house to house. It's always an enjoy moment for me to participate and to see those dances. Besides that, Chinese New Year is also a time where all of my family will gather together and to celebrate this happiness with all our friends and family. We have a barbecue and even a dinner together. So yes, that will be my favorite Malaysian celebration date for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Go. Again, it's great when at the end of the day, you get your ang paos and you count your ang paos, and it's just a good feeling to know that you have a lot of money in your hands at the end of Chinese New Year celebration. It's a good feeling. Thank you, Go. It was a great speech. Let's move on to any other volunteers who would like to choose a Kueh Raya to talk during table topics. Any volunteers? I see Abidi Yunus had unmuted his mic. Do you want to volunteer, Abidi? Abidi Yunus, you're still muted if you're talking.
All right. Okay.
All right. So we still have some Kueh Rayas on the screen. Choose one that you like.
So I choose Batang Buruk.
Batang Buruk.
Yeah, my favorite.
Batang Buruk.
Yeah.
Tell us a story about your hometown and the place you grew up in.
Very straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. My hometown. I come from Kelantan. Area is district Tanah Merah. Further go down to also from the actually my place is quite what we call quite far from the town. So it's very like a kampung, very kampung or a kampung place lah. All right. So beside my village also have a waterfall, which is quite in Kelantan is not much waterfall. Luckily, I have in my village have a waterfall. So every weekend, most of visitors come to my village, to go to the waterfall, and it's on top of that, that waterfall also supply for the supply water for the villagers. If you know that Kelantan is not very good in have a problem for the water supply, but luckily my village for over years we have our own pipeline for water, very fresh water from the hill. So, but now since the COVID is almost 1 year, I cannot go back to my hometown. I really miss my hometown, my village especially. Okay, so when I managed to come back to my hometown and my village, it's made me really relief. I don't have to. It made me very exhilarated. I don't have to go to overseas to make me happy. Just go back to my hometown, my village. That's it. I can save money as well since I am an accountant, so very calculative. So, we don't have to spend much if you want to enjoy. If I want to enjoy, just go back to my hometown. But now, because of pandemic, our movement was limited. So it's really sad. We cannot. This year, or I'm not sure when I can going back again to my hometown and village. Back to you.
Thank you, Abidi Yunus. Yes, these are very trying times, and it's very sad when you cannot go to your hometown. I wish that in the coming weeks you can have a chance to go home, go to your hometown, back to Kelantan, and have that happiness again. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next, any other volunteers?
I want to be volunteer.
All right. So, Lucy, Please choose one of these delicious kuih raya.
Can you go back to the screen?
Oh, can you not see the kuih raya?
Yes, now can see.
All right.
I want to choose almond London.
Almond London.
Mm.
All right, Almond London it is. So since Lucy is not from Malaysia, I have to give her this one. Tell us about a time where you dressed up, looked really good, and had the confidence of 1,000 lions. Go ahead, Lucy.
Okay. Do I need to mention that food or not?
Oh, wait, what's on the screen now?
I know, do I need to mention the food?
Which food?
I choose before.
No, this is the prompt that you need to give out, Lucy.
Okay,
So
okay.
Tell us about a time where you dressed up, looked really good, and had the confidence of 1,000 lions.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Lucy. Today I would like to talk about the time where I dressed up very well. I think I'm the person who really like dance. So from my young small age, I studied dance around 4 years, and I try a lot of competitions, and I go to different stages to dance, and I always dance in the middle part, the top part I dance. So during that time, I always dress very well, and I make up very well. While in the stage, I feel I'm the presence. I can experience my my ability. I can express my confidence. I'm shining in the stage. I really like the feel, but after I grow up, I don't have many chances to dance because I need to study a lot. There is a high competition during for students to study, so I don't have time to show myself on the stage. But I think in the future, I still need to keep dancing. I always believe I'm the star, no matter I'm on stage or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Hopefully when COVID is over and you come to Malaysia and we go to UM together, I can bring you dancing sometime because I also love to dance.
Okay, sure.
All right, thank you, Lucy. Now I think we have time for about one more table topic. So any volunteers? Oh, Kyle Young raised his hand. All right, Kyle Young, choose one of these delicious kuih raya.
Makmur.
Makmur, my favorite as well. All right, so your prompt is, tell us a story of a vacation in Malaysia that you will never forget.
Okay. When you mention never forget, people would automatically go towards a positive experience, but I'm going to try something different because this negative experience is so ingrained in my brain that I'll never forget it, and I will always mention this. First, a little bit context. I'm a postgraduate student, and I am currently looking into bacteria. And the thing that I study most is this little bacteria called E. coli, and it causes severe diarrhea, which is unfortunately to all the guests and as well as Toastmasters here who are, I am really sorry, eating your meal. I'm going to share a fantastic story where I went to vacation in Sunway Lagoon. It's a Sunway Lagoon here in Selangor. So it started off as a perfect trip. I was with my family, and I really, really enjoyed another traditional Malaysian dish called nasi lemak. It's just that that specific nasi lemak was not so normal. And of course, I had a fantastic afternoon in Sunway Lagoon. I was out there running around, eating all sorts of food, mixing up all sorts of activities. And for those who haven't been to Sunway Lagoon, there are two parks. The dry park, which I had a fantastic time with no incidents. And then it happened in the water park. You see, with all that food mixed in it, with all that excitement running around, I went to the water park and I drank a lot of chlorinated water. So a lot of things mixed together, and it's just disagreeable to my stomach. Of course, I wasn't feeling too good. I ran to the toilet. And it was just not a nice experience because liquid is coming out from both ends, from the front and the back. I'll leave that to your imagination. And I was trapped there for the rest of the evening until one of the people, worker staff, have to announce to the whole park that there is a guy missing and please find this person. I was stuck there for so long. By the time the park closed, my parents found me sinking in my own toilet, and then I was feeling not too good. So that was an experience, a vacation that I have that I'll never forget. Back to you.
Thank you, Kyle. When you told your story and you mentioned nasi lemak and water parks, I was afraid that when you're in the water, you did not have the time to actually make it to the toilet and actually just went in the pool. Thank God that did not happen. Thank you for sharing your story. So, Timer, do you have time for one more, or?
I'll check the agenda.
All right.
According to agenda, the table topic is until
7:28.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, 1 more minute.
Yeah, 1 more minute. Stop.
All right.
So I think we should just stop here now.
Yeah, maybe we can go for the voting.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I enjoyed this table topics today. Selamat Hari Raya. Let's go for the voting.
Yes, the voting is up in the chat box. It's in a form of Google Doc, not Google Doc, Google Form. So spend your time to vote in. It's in a chat box.
The Google form needs permission.
Okay, needs permission. Oh, sorry about it. Let me change it for a bit. Give me 1 second. No, 1 second. 1 minute. Okay, it should be fine now. Can you guys try and see? The new link should be accessible for anybody.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Okay, can somebody help me to check?
It works, it works.
Okay, nice, thanks. The results will be announced at the end of.
So DJ Ash, you want to conclude or you want to hand it over to me?
Oh yes. Thank you, everyone. Selamat Hari Raya again. Toastmaster of the evening. Go ahead. Back to you.
Thank you so much to our table topic master. Wonderful sharing of Kueh Raya. And I think, Lucy, you might not know a lot of those delicacies, but I think today you know that we have a lot of food. And once COVID and the lockdown is over, we're definitely going to have some get together with those actual delicacies from Raya. And with that, we are now 7:29. Please continue to vote, and we will start our 5-minute break, and we will resume at 7:34 p.m. And with that, if you want to go for toilet break or any break, be my guest. We will start 5 minutes later. Thank you.
Okay, well, may I invite some guests to introduce yourself if you are not going for the break? Maybe is that Pati? Pati, are you there? Yes, Pati. If not, then I believe she's okay already. We have Go as so we have two guests today. Welcome to UMTMC and MIA Toastmaster Club joint meeting. Do you want to share experience on us, Go? I heard that you have been joining a lot of meetings as a guest already.
For me, yes, a few.
Do you mind to share with us how do you feel when joining meetings from the clubs, different clubs? Do you have different experience?
Well, I would say yes. It's actually about the atmosphere, about whether this type of meeting making me feeling like wanted to speak, whether I feeling comfortable with it. I think that is the most important part. Whether it make me have the courage to speak out. And in this meeting, I feel that I did feel like speaking out.
Okay, thanks for joining for table topic.
Yes.
So it's pandemic time, right? You can also join the meetings clubs from outside Malaysia. For example, in Singapore or Indonesia or even Philippines or even China and Australia. There is a website called Toastmaster.org, Toastmaster organization, where you can find all the clubs information. It's accessible for everyone. You may gain different experience when joining clubs from other countries. They are welcoming you too.
Sorry, are you Brian?
Yes. Hello. I contacted you. Yes.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. Glad to hear that you're enjoying actually. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, Sean. Hi.
Yep.
No, nothing. Nice to meet you.
Oh, all right. I'm hearing bits and pieces of voices, so do pardon me if I miss some important info as well.
Oh, no problem.
Then I think your sound is a little bit blurry. Can you try that again?
I think 1, 2, 3.
Yep, it's a little bit clear now, but it's better if you can make it a little bit clear.
No, I think it's my connection.
Oh yeah, it's now it's fine now. It's actually better, far better now.
Okay, that's weird. Wait.
Yeah, I think we're already 7:33. I think we can continue.
Okay.
Bit again. No, right? No.
ASAA.
Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed your break. Let's continue the meeting. I'll pass the floor to Toastmaster of Evening, Sean.
All right. Thank you, ASAA, for our meeting. Again, welcome back. It's a very short break. I do find 5 minutes is very short, but I think it's also a good chance for us to get to know the guests. And it's, I mean, by all means, if you feel like there's more opportunity that we'll get to know each other, I think during MCO, we never had so much social chance to interact with other people. I think this is one good opportunity to say hi to everybody, and even some Toastmaster but you never get to meet yet in person. So this is one way that we really hope guests be more engaging with us. We're not going to bite, and hopefully we can get to know each other more during the break. Now I think about getting to know each other better. We have 2 icebreaker speech, ladies and gentlemen, for the benefit of the guests. The first speech for every Toastmaster is the icebreaker speech, and it's fair. I think this is a member's first speech. It's more than important to get to know the Toastmaster himself or herself better. So later on, during the end of both icebreaker speech, I would like to invite everybody for a standing ovation. It's a culture of Toastmaster where we warmly welcome the first completion of the first speech. So if you're all not ready or not dressed up yet, I encourage everybody to wear properly or something like that, because we're going to turn on our camera to give a standing ovation to both our icebreaker speakers. Now, to begin the icebreaker speech, I would like to invite one of the evaluator to give the purpose statement, which I'll invite the first icebreaker evaluator, which is Joshua Lim. Could you read out the project, the speech, the purpose statement of the project to both our icebreaker speakers?
Yes, Sean. So the purpose of the icebreaker speech is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. That is all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Toastmaster Joshua. May I invite our Mr. General Evaluator, Peter, to read out the evaluator notes to speech evaluator Joshua Lim and speech evaluator RBB.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Notes for the evaluator Joshua. This member is completing his or her first speech in Toastmaster. The goal of the evaluation is to give the member an effective evaluation of his or her speech and delivery style. Because the icebreaker is the first project a member completes, you may choose to use only the notes section and not the numerical score. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Now, I would like to invite our first icebreaker speaker, Kenneth Chan. Kenneth Chan, your speech title is Enemy. I'm very curious why your first icebreaker is to talk about enemies while we should be talking about friends. With that, you have 4 to 6 minutes to complete your icebreaker. Let us all invite Toastmaster Kenneth. Enemy, Toastmaster Kenneth, the floor is yours.
Good evening, member of the Toastmaster and the esteemed guests. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chan Junji, or you can call me Kenny. My speech today is called Enemy. Do you have enemies? Who is your enemies? Based on the dictionary, enemies means a person who hate or oppose another person and try to harm that person. So, do you realize any enemy around you? It can be your family members, friends, colleagues, or strangers. In fact, most of the time, the bigger enemy is ourselves. Do you realize this enemy is invisible? It is in your mindset or in your heart. And these enemies always influence us in daily activities. For example, bad habit and bad attitude cause us facing a lot of problems, such as failure, injury, and death. Example, bad habit of drunk driving. It can cause accident and lead to injury and death. If you hurt in this accident, enemy is yourself. If you hurt another people, you become enemy for that person. In addition, if you have any bad attitude or characteristics such as laziness, emotional, or weak points, and extra, it will be provide negative impact on your life. All of these enemies are coming from our inner. Therefore, we have to learn how to deal with these enemies. Based on my research, there are 3 steps to deal with it. Firstly, we must identify or finding out why this enemy exists. Secondly, responding to the enemy with these 3 methods. First, observe them carefully and try to understand your enemy. We have to know how to observe and understand people, includes ourselves. Secondly, find out their weakness, then learn to defend yourself. If you know what is your weakness about yourself or your enemy. You may have an idea to defend it. Third, try to build your communication skills. And a good and powerful communication skills are essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately and quickly. Meanwhile, communications is a part of our self-concept, and it helps us to understand ourselves and other people, to solve problems and learn new things. Thirdly, getting support. This is a main pillar to encourage and enhance our success. Without any support, it is hard to fight with your enemy. For instance, one of my enemy is called English. Why this enemy exists? After identifying, talent of languages is my weakness. English is not my mother tongue, and I don't have a platform to practice. In order to respond this enemy, I getting support from English institution. I had attend different English institutions to improve my skill. Throughout the learning, I minimize my weakness. Public speaking is another enemy for me. When I stand on the stage, I feel nervous and suddenly broke into a cold sweat. The work scenario is become disease. I will lose my mind and forget my speech. I can't stand. After identifying, I realized that I am I am an introverted person, not a talkative, don't like social. Because of these characters, once I speak in publicity, I can't focus on my mind. I feel uncomfortable when there are a lot of audience. To deal with this enemy, I need getting support, a platform where can coach me or give me an idea to explore my mind, to improve and enhance my skill. That's why I joined the Toastmaster. I hope Toastmaster can lead me up to become a good public speaker. Meanwhile, enhance my presentation skill. In real life, enemies can be anywhere. You can avoid other enemy, but you can't avoid yourself. To keep alone, don't keep alone. If you are alone, you can't fight with your enemy. We have to getting support and keep on learning. This is the best way to deal with the enemy. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kenneth, for that wonderful introduction. Know thy enemy and know yourself, and you win 1,000 war. I hope that this icebreaker, we get to know Kenneth better, and hopefully your enemies such as English, fear, and everything else would be soon your from enemy to allies. With that, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Now we have another icebreaker speaker, which is Toastmaster Resmi. Now, Toastmaster Resmi holds many roles. She is a Toastmaster. She came from India and now she's in Toastmaster Club. She is a daughter, sister, wife, an IT professional, mother of 2 children, and now a university student. Public speaking isn't something very familiar to her, and I think this is her first public speech. Therefore, please, everyone here, warmly welcome Resmi for her icebreaker speech. Toastmaster Resmi, the story of my life. The story of my life, Toastmaster Resmi. Over to you.
Thank you, Sean. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My name is Rishmi. I'm doing my master's in University of Malaya. My speech is titled The Story of My Life. I was born in a village in the southern part of India. I was the first child in my family. As a first child, I was an apple of the eye in the family. After 2 years, I got a sister. After a few more years, I got a brother. By that day, I had started my primary school. After primary school, I moved to a convent school until my 10th standard. I had only one dream, that I wanted to become rich, because in my village, rich people only had cars. I love cars. You know, I am talking about early 80s cars. In my 7th standard, I find out more about engineering degree from my best friend. Then I set my goal as an engineer. After my 12th standard, I worked hard to get an engineering admission in the government engineering college. In my country, we have to appear a common entrance test to get an admission in the government engineering college. Those days, my state had only 2,000 seats in the government colleges. More than 25,000 students had appeared for the exam. I had written the exam, but I didn't get good enough score to go to the government college. But I still wanted to work as an engineer. So I joined in a self-financing college for my bachelor's degree in electronics. In India, bachelor's degree in electronics and engineering degree both are different. So I could not get a job as an engineer. Then I joined for my master's. My first master's in India was 15 years ago. I got married immediately after my master's. After my marriage, my husband and I moved to one of the metro cities in India. It was a completely new world to me. First 2 years, I struggled a lot. My main problem was my bad English speaking skill, because there was nobody speaking in my mother tongue. I was so afraid to speak to anybody who spoke English. But my husband was very supportive. Day by day, I started losing my confidence. After a year, I started to work as a freelance web developer with one of my friends. In the next year, I joined a private company. Till now, I'm working for them. My children and I moved to Malaysia in 2016 because my husband got a job in Malaysia. A new era in my life began in Malaysia. Malaysia was the first foreign country I visited in my life. It was another new world with different people, with different culture. My confidence started blooming. First, I joined a gym and met many other people. I started to work. I started to travel alone and communicate with non-familiar people. I started to look for a job transition. My husband suggested me to join a new course in Kenya. I applied for a master's course in University of Malaya, and I joined in 2019 for my second master's. I was very proud of myself and exhilarated. But I wanted to improve my soft skill. I found out that University of Malaya Toastmaster Club is the best place to improve my public speaking skill. So I joined here. Now I am looking forward to a great time with University of Malaya Toastmaster Club. That's the story of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmi, for sharing the story of your life. I think we have a lot to learn from you, and your dedication and perseverance to overcome uncertainties in life and just take life head on as it is truly admirable and something that we can learn from. With that, I would like to invite fellow Toastmasters, guests, and everyone in the meeting except Resmi and also Toastmaster Cornet to stand and give a standing ovation. You can unmute yourself to applaud and congratulate icebreaker speeches. The speech.
Congratulations. Good job.
You only get this, I think, when you were at your first speech in halfways, and back then during the old syllables when you complete a project halfway or things like that. But yeah, you don't get standing ovations every day in Toastmaster. So this is our way of celebrating your first speech in Toastmaster. With that, I would like to invite our next speaker, which is Bingkang. I think you're setting up. I'll try to buy
Yes,
some
I'm
info
here.
from you. Before we pass to Bingkang, can I invite the speech evaluator? Hold on, my PC decided to fell asleep. It's loading. May I invite the evaluator for Bingkang, which is Toastmaster Shen? Yes, Toastmaster Shen. Could you read out the project speech purpose statement for Toastmaster Bingkang?
Yes, okay. The purpose of this project is for the members to learn about the different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the members to share the impact of his or her style on others. Back to you, Mr. TME.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shen. Can I invite Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Peter, to read out the evaluator's note to Toastmaster Shen?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Notes for the evaluator Shen. During the completion of this project, the member responded to a questionnaire to help identify his or her communication style. And about this speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech about some aspect of communication styles. The member may choose to speak about his or her own communication style or the impact of communication styles on him or her. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Understanding Your Communication Style project. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Toastmaster Bingkang isn't a good communicator. In fact, that's why he joined Toastmaster. He needed to improve his communication. For him, communication is nothing necessary. In fact, when he sees it as a form of passing information, a process that he really hates to decrypt what people actually meant compared to what they actually said. So today, thank God, he had the chance to complete this project, understanding his communication style, and hopefully one day in Toastmaster, he would master his communication style and hopefully use it to get a girlfriend. Open promotion to anyone.
Yay!
Open promotion. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Toastmaster Bingkang. 5 troublesome communication style. Four troublesome communication style. Toastmaster Bingkang.
Okay, thank you, John. Before this, I would like to spotlight myself, although it's a little bit weird. And so to spotlight our timer. Hello, timer, where are you? Timer. Okay, timer. Spotlight. Yeah. Mic check. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Can.
Okay, yay. Wait, give me a moment. Sorry, give me a moment, please. Okay. Right. Another mic check. I'm standing behind a little bit. Can still hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yes,
Loud and
yes.
clear.
Okay, I'll start now. Understanding your communication style. When I encounter this project, I wonder, isn't it the sole purpose of communication is just to pass an information? 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, got it. This is called in communication. It's supposed to be simple and easy, not something with a lot of styles that you have to know and you have to know how to deal with it. To have an effective communication, it should have been effective at the first place. Well, turns out that after reading about this project, human is complicated, and yeah, for me, communication styles are really troublesome. By the way, I'm going to introduce it anyway. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I'm going to share with you 4 communication styles that I learned in this project and how one affects another. Let's start with number 1, direct. What kind of person is a direct communicator? It's actually quite to notice, especially in a team collaboration. Direct communicator has a bossy manner who likes to be in control of a team, who suggest themselves to be the leader. Now, from that feeling, I think Benjamin, which is our immediate past president, is a direct communicator because I feel like he's a little bit bossy. And in fact, I happen to be a direct communicator based on my results of my communication style. Yes, it's true that sometimes I wish to be on the ball when it comes to decision making. And I'm quite uncomfortable to see people rejecting my ideas. Oh. But those only happen when I'm competent in that field. But when I feel inferior, I will become another type of communicator immediately, which I will talk about now. Number 2, supportive. It just so happened that, yes, I saw highest in this style too, together with direct. I don't know why. So what is a supportive communicator? They are like a complement to direct communicator to balance out their bossy man. Supportive communicator is obviously very supportive. Do you think this is good? Yes, yes, of course, this is good, sir. Now, which do you think is better? Not quite sure, but whatever you think will be the best one, sir. Oh no, I don't know what to do. It's okay, I can help you with. Although I'm not quite sure how to help. So they are approachable, sincere, but indecisive. They need direct communicator helping them to make decisions. They value relationship and like to comply with the order. And I think Joshua is a supportive communicator. Joshua is one of my Toastmaster friends in Toastmaster because he is always and smelling when we have exco meetings. We support our ideas when he is called upon. Yes, I support. A great idea. So it's good to have him here be our exco. Or maybe he was just paying no attention to us. Oops. By the way, number 3, initiating communicator. They are sociable. They like to express their views and feelings through sharing with. Though unfortunately, they tend to talk more than listen. They are a very good choice of people to be the MC, by the way, to break the ice and to resolve the conflict, especially conflicts between direct communicators. Come on, guys. Come on, why don't you can share it? Do you understand what I'm saying? You didn't listen to me, right? Why nobody is listening to me? I feel so miserable. Wait a minute. What was it you were saying just now? You understand? Can you repeat it once again? This is how an initiating communicator usually. I believe that Kaman and Kenneth, your future teacher, and Kaman is the current teacher, are initiating people because they have the educator background. Being a teacher, I believe you have to initiate. Though I'm not saying that they just know how to speak nonsense and non-stop, but they are very crucial for the next communication style. Number 4, analytical. I believe all of us, each and every one of you, have been trained for this. Analytical communicator is analytical, obviously, logical, systematic, sometimes perfectionist. They like graphs and figures. Yay, second. They tend to be quiet, but their minds are full of ideas. These students know the answer. Do you familiar with this while you are in school? Well, a direct communicator doesn't like. That's why to fully utilize analytical communicator, we need help from initiating person. Any ideas on this? Yes, Minkang, what's your idea? Based on the graphs on the table, I observe, I think solution E is the best. Wow, brilliant! Minkang. Why don't you study in the first place? And I just don't. So this read out both communication styles in this project. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, remember that I said communication styles are troublesome. Well, now I realize that when you combine elements into one, it just so happens that the dynamic works out. Imagine that you have a team of two with direct communicator leading the team, supported by a supporting communicator. Initiating communicator will break the ice and do the diplomatic, assisted by an analytical person with data and facts. Wow, isn't it perfect idea, Mr. Toastmaster of the
Thank you, Toastmaster Minkang, for that wonderful introduction about different communication style and what's your communication style. I would like to call upon our next speaker, which is Toastmaster Malcolm Z, Distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm Z, to have him presenting his Level 2 Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring speech. Before I invite Distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm, can I invite his evaluator, which is Lucy, to read out the project description to Distinguished
Can you hear me
Toastmaster
now?
Malcolm. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now I will read the purpose statements. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters innovations mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lucy. May I now invite our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Peter, to read out the notes to the evaluator.
Thank you, Sean. Notes for the evaluator, Xueqi. The member completing this project is developing an understanding of Toastmaster mentoring. And about this speech, the speech is about a time where the member was a protege. It may be from any time in his life. The member may discuss any aspect of the project experience. And lastly, the speech should not be a report on the content of the introduction to Toastmaster mentoring project. Thank you. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm, your topic is learner. Learner, Distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm Z. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Malcolm. I believe everyone here has become a student before. It seemed to me, and up to now, I'm still a student. No matter in my job, or even though in my parenthood, or in my own world. Let me start about how I became a student when I was 5 years old. From there, it turned me to learn what I need to learn. It means that my childhood. Later on, it turned me to a primary student where I become a student at one more time. As I move on, my secondary class, my secondary school, and yet I'm a student. Even though when I go through my university level, I'm yet a student. And the rank and the placing that I'm getting is getting better, higher. And as I move on to my working days, it still turn me as a student. Even though now I'm a leader where I run a company by myself, I learn from my mentor. So it means that easily to be said, we are a student and we are a learner. Let me start with my journey when I started my work, where I become a protege. And I can quietly inform all of you that time I have a bad experience. My leader doesn't teach me. He pushed all the work to me. And I've been thinking, as a protege, do I learn that much from him? And that time, I struggled 6 years. But it's a great experience for me to learn. I accelerated a lot. Why? Because I learned from the bad. From there, I move on by reading books, attend classes, attend seminar, and finally, I move on with Toastmaster, where leaders are made. That's how it turned myself to a leader who I'm doing now. Then, as I move on, to become a protege, I need a mentor. In my whole life of journey, I'm grateful that I have few mentors. Where it started with my real estate industry, I have a successful leader where he teach me how to talk, where he teach me how to present myself. That's my first journey as a protege, where I learned how to be soft-spoken. Never say yes when you could not commit yourself. It's a choice for you to say no, because based on your ability, do not over promise yourself things that you couldn't do. From there is a first step for me to say no. Yes, someone has said customer is always right. But if let's say at one time, customer told you that I need this 1 million project no matter how you do it, please conclude the deal based on your own ability. You have a choice to say no. Then from there, I move on again to my insurance industry, where I meet another leader, where he teach me to control our own behavior. Because customer is always right. Oh my God, he told me this. Then I have to justify what is your own heaviness and your burden. From there, I learn myself to become a yes man and yet a no man. So in insurance, it teaches me to control my burden, my limit. When now I've turned myself to a leader and I teach my employee to control themselves because things will grow by itself if you have a good behavior with a great attitude. Yes, responsibility is everywhere. You have to limit your own responsibility so that you can become successful. The journey that I've gone through that turned me to a leader now, and I'm telling you, I am still a learner. I won't stop there, because don't turn yourself into a selfish person. Turn yourself into a humble leader so that you can groom your mentee and you will become a good mentor. And your mentee will remember you at all times. That's my experience as a mentee. But remember to turn yourself to a leader where your mentee will remember you wherever you are. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm, for sharing your experience being a student, now a mentor, and also teaching others on how to be successful in life, whether it's work or it's in communication. I think to hear from you means a lot because you have been through the whole Toastmaster journey, and now you are coming back to the first step in the new pathway and starting a new journey as a mentor and a protege as well. Thank you so much for your sharing, distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm. A round of applause. And now it's time to vote for the best speaker. I think Ming Kang is gonna launch a poll very soon.
Yes, John, it's exactly the same link as before.
Yep, we saw the link.
Pasted it inside the group chat. See if you can access it or not.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, nice.
All right, we have everybody voted. Again, if you're still waiting for the form to load, you can always vote throughout the whole session. With that, I would like to hand over the session to our general evaluator, which is Toastmaster Peter, to take over the evaluation session. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Now, we know that feedback is a breakfast for champions. Well, obviously, we do have all the evaluators for all the speech session just now, table topic, and also prepared speech. And it's very, very essential for us to obtain feedback for all the speeches that we have done so that you will be able to know which part you have been doing good and also which part you can improve better. With that, I would like to call upon table topic evaluator Hui Moon to give her evaluation report for the table topic session. Over to you, Hui Moon.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Sorry that because of my internet connection, I cannot turn on my camera. Now, can you all listen to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I would like to and also this is actually my first time to evaluate table topic speaker. I will give my observation for these speakers. Then hopefully my GE can guide me on in the future how should I give the recommendation or suggestion to the speakers. Okay, the first one is speaker Go Xianzi, and your title is what is your favorite Malaysia celebration and why is that so? You mentioned about Chinese New Year. Normally Chinese will prefer Chinese New Year because this is our tradition. We have fun, especially the ang pao, the food, and how we have fun with our friends, our siblings. And I like your answer for this one also because I'm Chinese. Then you also talk about how is your experience about Chinese New Year, and your your speech is clear. You have a bit nervous and eager to be this table topic section. Hopefully I can meet you in another meeting, and we will listen to your speech again. And the next one is RBD. Your title is Tell Us a Story About Your Hometown and the Place You Grew Up. You mentioned about your hometown, Kuantan. If I didn't listen wrongly, it's Kuantan, not Kelantan, right? Then you talk about the waterfall and also how is your experience with the water, and you also mentioned that you are follow the SOP. At least 1 year you didn't back to hometown already. You also have a clear and structured speech to tell us about your hometown and the place you grew up. I believe you can add a few more interesting Kuantan, maybe about your neighborhood. How is your childhood in the home in Kuantan, which we will know. We will more into your story. And the next speaker is Qie, where you dress up, look very good, and had a confidence of 1,000 lions. I can feel your confidence when you talk about how you like your dance, and then but you also feel sad because of your study and also MCO and this pandemic. You cannot like continue your favorite hobby. And because when you mention like everyone will have very strong and very confident moment when you are doing the things you like, you favorite. So I can really feel you match to your title that you are talking about a confidence of 1,000 lions. But I believe this should be your first few times of the speech. You seem a bit nervous, but it's okay. Practice make perfect. I always feel nervous when doing the table topic also. Hope to see your speech in the future as well. And the last speaker, Kao Yang, I remarked to myself I must use the word of the day. Sorry if I didn't pronounce properly. Taxi related, is it? But because I really feel your excitement when you're talking about your story, that your vacation in Malaysia that you will never forget, and you talk about how you have best nasi lemak for the best. That let you to start in Sunway Lagoon that cannot enjoy properly the whole day in Sunway Lagoon. I'm not saying you are exciting for this experience, but you
I guess we lost her.
I'm not couldn't hear her. I think she's disconnected. Unfortunately.
I think my connection. Yeah, I think my connection was back just now. Okay, that's all for my part. Back to you, Mr. G.
Thank you, Hui Mun. Let's give a round of applause to Hui Mun for her very, very first time being a TTE. Now, being a table topic evaluator is a very, very daunting task, as you need to evaluate 4 speakers like within such a short period of time. But Hui-Moon, I guess you did it very nicely, despite it's your very first time being a TTE. Now, the essence of being a TTE is that you must pay attention like to every single detail for all the speeches by all the speakers. You clearly mentioned about what they have shared during their speeches and such. And on top of that, you also gave at least one recommendation for all the speakers for their speeches. And I think that's very good. But that's something that maybe you can think about having one distinctive good point and another one distinctive point for room for improvement. That may help you. And of course, the evaluation by all the evaluators are subjective. This is merely their individual opinions. Thank you, Hui-Moon. Now I would like to move on to evaluation section for prepared speech. May I call upon evaluator for Kenny, Joshua. Joshua, the floor is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Kenny, did you just say that you feel dizzy and lost your mind when you're giving your public speaking? Well, guess what? I feel trembled and sweaty when I give public speaking. I like the way how you say that because of this dizziness and when you lost your mind, you realize that you are an introvert. You don't like speaking with others. And that is something that I can relate to with, because for someone who is introverted, it is hard for them to speak in front of a large crowd. But over time, with practice, as what you say in your speech, you join Toastmasters so that you can become a better speaker and you won't feel scared when you speak in front. Another thing that I like about your speech is that the point getting support. And when you say that your enemy is English. And in order to defeat your enemy, you attend different institutions to improve and defeat that enemy. And I noticed that besides the point getting support, having an example, the other points, observe your enemy carefully, find out their weaknesses, build a good and powerful communication skills. Those points, perhaps you can try adding examples there to make your story more exciting. For example, let's say the point, observe them carefully. You can say, I was following my enemy. I was watching each and every one of their movements. And you can make that your speech exhilarating to people so that you can stand in your shoes and imagine how does it feel like to observe your enemy. Another point that I like is when you say that, do you realize the enemies surrounding you? It could be your families, your friends. Yes, half of the time when we say enemy, we always think about others. That is until when you say that the bigger enemy is ourselves. We hardly think ourselves as the enemy because we always think that we are the good person. And I like that you also include that our mindset, our heart, our bad habits, all make ourselves as the enemy. And I like also that when you give the accident example of how hurting others makes you the enemy, and hurting yourself is an enemy to yourself. And lastly, my challenge to you is that perhaps you can add pauses throughout your speech to make them feel more natural. For example, in one of the sentences, you say, you can avoid other enemies, but you cannot avoid yourself as the enemy. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua, for your evaluation. When I heard about this topic, enemy for icebreaker speech, indeed, it kind of like caught my attention. And kudos to you, Kenny, for completing your maiden speech. Now, for this evaluation that Joshua has given to Kenny, it was merely based on his personal opinion, but I would like to give this compliment to Joshua for nailing this evaluation. Firstly, Joshua related his experience because everybody shared the same experience. I too myself remember when I did my icebreaker speech, I was actually speaking too fast because I was too nervous, and subsequently I tried to slow down and also inject some of the pausing in between the speeches. And Joshua also shared the things that he liked about the speech. And of course, he also shared about some of the improvement for Kenny. And I hope that this evaluation from Joshua will be able to benefit Kenny for his upcoming Toastmaster journey. Thank you, Joshua. Now I would like to call upon the second evaluator for RESME. Can I call upon Abidi? Abidi, the floor is yours.
Hi, Mr. General Evaluator and fellow Toastmaster and guests. Okay, this is my second evaluation, my second attempt for evaluation. Last meeting is the first one, this is second one. So yeah, Madam Resmi, what I find from your speech is your similarity with me, because you are having the same problem on speaking English, which is very similar to me and I think most of us at the first place. And you also, you know, you start join this Toastmaster, you know, I believe because you already you know, have a kid and pursue for your second master. So you know, at my age, you know, myself is I start at about 42. This is my second year of joining Toastmaster. So consider late, but you know, as far as we can continue learning, improve myself. So why not? Okay. So that's the thing that I find that we have a similarity on, and then very easy for me to evaluate you, because another thing that you are also coming from, you know, even we are different country, we coming from different country, from India and Malaysia, but you know, I come from the place that Kelantan, it's not Kuantan, Kelantan, where most people are not speaking English. Yeah, of course we know because we current media social, of course we can expose to the English language or everything. But Kelantan is the place that, especially in the rural area, I come from the very rural area, so people not speaking English so much, you know, very little. So I can, and then I have the same feeling of, you know, very, you know, what the words, very scared to speak, because we know this is our weaknesses. Okay. So another point is actually I try to you know, to point out, actually pre-prepared to point out that I'm going to talk about posture, eyes contact, but actually you already well prepared. You prepared, then which is at the first icebreaker, you already, you know, have a good posture, you stand up, and you also have a good eye contact. So actually it's very good. Your speech also very structured, bring me to follow from start to end. So what I can suggest to you is, if you can share more about your experience in Malaysia, which is I think, since it was your first country visit to Malaysia, so probably you can share more about your life, the place that you experience in Malaysia. Even now is a COVID era. So, but I think I believe you go somewhere. All right. So lastly, with your energy and your commitment, your enthusiasm, your spirit, I believe you will be a good speaker one day. That's all.
Thank you, RBD. Now, we have completed the evaluation for both icebreaker speeches. Now, both of them, they use a method, I call it ABC. A, acknowledge. Firstly, they acknowledge all the good points, all the things that have done in their speech, which are the good points. And next, B, battle. They also share some of the good points, how they can do better in their speeches moving forward. And lastly, C, congratulate. Not to forget, our electors, they also congratulate the speakers, and also hopefully we'll be able to hear more wonderful speeches from both of the speakers. Now, Rasmi, her speech actually was in a chronological order, of which she shared the experience since she was young, and then subsequently she relocated to Malaysia because of her husband got a job here, and so on. And I do agree with Abidi that perhaps you can share more some of the wonderful experience in Malaysia, since this is your first ever foreign country that you visit out of India. And with that, thank you. Now, I would like to call upon our third evaluator, Sen, for Min Kang speeches. The floor is yours, Sen.
Jen. All right.
Jen.
Thank you, Mr. G. So your title, Min Kang, your title for troublesome communication styles. Congratulations, you already hit the objective of the project. You have already delivered. You already mentioned, learn about the different styles, communication styles, and identify your own styles, and what is the impact of your styles on others. And yeah, this is the first point that you have hit. And second one is that you use your white stage in front of your pinhole camera, which normally not many people are doing it, but you use the whole white stage and present your speech very well. And your content is actually just nice. You talk about the 4 communication styles: direct, supportive, analytical, and so on. And you know, the way you craft the speech, it's in a way that you try to interlink it and explain it and give some example, a real life example of, like, for example, Carmen or Carl or your own ex-boss, Benjamin, how their communication styles, and it really like creates a vivid explanation to everyone, like, hey, yeah, this is something that we can relate to, you know, because this is something that we know, someone that we know. And your speech is actually loud and clear. Indeed. I'm so sorry. And my mic is far away from me. Okay, it's loud and clear. And yeah, well done for your for your speech on hitting on these good points. Now try to elevate yourself your speech to the next level with some of the improvements that I'm going to tell you. You know, sometimes, right, when we do speeches during the online, right, we tend to have you know, internet is sometimes, you know, based on your luck, right, the internet, it may not be good. But somewhat I realized that for your side, right, is, I think the problem is somehow your devices. You may want to check on it, because I can hear the interruptions, and it's not so good when you try to present the speech. So there are some points that I couldn't catch it, and it really like disrupt the mood of listening to your speech. And the second thing is that you try to give example immediately after explanations. There's a sudden transitions where me as an audience, right, I couldn't like okay, suddenly is next thing already. So it's sort of like catch me in surprise. But anyway, this is just a minor improvement actually. But use this improvement and to craft your better speech, and you're good to go. So that's all from me. Back to you, Mr. G.
Thank you, Evaluator Shen. So Shen, he gave a sandwich type of evaluation method. Minkang, you did a very good job. You knew your body language and your vocal variety as well, and you use your stage. I would say you utilize your stage, and just one cent of, I would say, sorry, just 2 cents from myself. Perhaps you can use a microphone. Sometimes I do lose you a bit during your speech, so maybe that's one of my suggestions for you. Thank you. Now I would like to call upon our last evaluator. May I call upon Xueqi? Xueqi, the floor is yours. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, thank you. So I start now. Fellow Toastmasters, I think Mr. Malcolm did a great job in his speech today, and I believe there are a few points that Mr. Malcolm did extremely well, and we can learn from him. Firstly, I do agree in our whole life, we are learners, even though we go for work, even though we become leader. I think you truly share 2 golden lessons for us. I believe this is a sincere conclusion after you go for a long leadership journey. One is never promise yourself from the things you cannot do, to study, to say no. Another is insurance teaches you always keep good behavior and attitude to study, to say yes. Second of all, I noticed he started his speech with an chronological order from young age and until become a leader. Personally, I think that attracted me to listen to him, and that gave a good start to his speech. Thirdly, I noticed he has a very clear structure for the content, and he controls the space to talk and the vocal variety very well. He sometimes slow his voice, sometimes speaks slowly to attract audience listen to him. He also, one suggestion I would like to give Mr. Malcolm is that you can share more story about your mentee experience in Toastmaster Club. It will also a good idea. You also can use more hand gesture to attract audience. In the conclusion, I love your speech. It all made me learn from you. And I felt inspired by you. You have a very clear content structure, and you really let us learn a lot from your experience. That's all for me. Thank you. I'm looking forward to your future speech also.
Thank you, Xueqi. I do agree with Xueqi that, Malcolm, you are such a good speaker. You control the pace of your speech, and the speech was also well structured. And I also agree with Xueqi that perhaps you can add on some of your personal experience, like how did you intervene your hardship, some of the tough situations, and how it made you a successful leader that you are today. Thank you very much. Now we are going to vote for our best evaluator. Thank you. The voting is up. You may refer to the chat box. Thank you, Minkang. Everybody, you may vote for your best evaluator.
Hey, sorry, is there any issues in the link?
Why, it's not accessible? Okay, it's
Yes.
okay, I will change it. Give me a moment. Yeah, again, it's the same problem. It limits only my organization. Okay. Give me a. Okay, should be good now. Yeah, it's good for DJH because you are from Ministry of Raya, that's why you can access it. The new link is up. Hopefully you can access it already. Any issue? Okay,
good.
I
It's
can
good.
see I see the responses starting to increase. Okay, you may continue while they are still under voting.
Thank you, Minkang. Now we are going to enter into technical evaluation part. Now these technical evaluators that have been staying attentive throughout the whole meeting, and they are going to present their report to you. May I call upon the grammarian, Josh Lay. Josh, the floor is yours, grammarian.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. Mr. General Evaluator, fellows, Toastmasters, and guests. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the following Toastmasters for using the words of the day to the Toastmaster table topic master DJH, Go Xianzhi, Toastmaster of the evening, Sean, Toastmaster Resmi, table topic evaluator Hui Moon, and Joshua. Congratulations for using the words of the day, and my apologies if I overheard someone who is using the word of the day. So moving on to the table topic session, to the Toastmaster Go Xianzhi, I noticed that you mentioned that you are happy be receiving angpo, and I would suggest that it should be happy for receiving angpo instead of happy be receiving angpo. And to the Toastmaster ABD, you mentioned that Kelantan is not very good for water supply, and I would suggest that the sentence to be structured in the way that Kelantan always has problem with water supply. To Toastmasters Xueqi, I noticed that you mentioned from my small age, and I would suggest that you change it to when I was young. And during the prepared speech session, I did catch some excellent words, phrases, and sentences that used by the Toastmasters. To Toastmasters Kenneth, you are using the sentence that you can avoid many enemies, but you can't avoid yourself. To Toastmaster Resmi, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. To the distinguished Toastmaster Malcolm, I noticed that you're using never say yes when you cannot commit and never overpromise yourself when you cannot do it. Here is my report for Grammarian. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, grammarian. Next, I would like to call upon our R counter to present her report. May I call upon Chu Yu?
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. For Elaine, 1 Xian, 1 3 and 3 repeated words. Sean, 1 and 1 repeated word. DJ Ash, 2 and 1 repeated word. Go, 14 and 2 repeated words. ABD, 2 Lucy, 4 and 1 repeated word. Kyle, 1 repeated word. For Joshua, Peter, Kenneth, no speech crutches. Well done. For Resmi, 1 Minkang, 1 and well done, Malcolm, no speech crutches. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you for such a detailed report, our counter. Next, I will call upon our timer of the day, Ken Tang.
So thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Did I change the background first? Then I'll start the timer for myself. Okay, let's start. So for this is the timekeeper report for this evening meeting. So our meeting start at 7 p.m., which is on time. Congratulations on that. And for Assistant Sergeant at Arm calling the meetings to order, allocated time 1 minute. The time taken is 50 seconds. And for our Toastmaster of evening, allocated time 10 minutes. Time taken is only 5 minutes. And now we are moving on to the table topic session. So there are 4 table topic speakers. The first speaker is Go. So takes only 1 minute and 54 seconds. And Abidi Yunus, 3 minutes overtime. And Lucy, 1 minute and 53 seconds. And Kao Yang, 2 minutes and 51 seconds, again overtime. So there are 2 speakers, table topic speakers, overtime for today's meeting. And now moving on to our assignment speeches. So Resmi, the icebreaking speech, took 5 minutes and 31 seconds. Kenny took 5 minutes and 1 second. So our Minkang level 2 project speeches, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And Malcolm, 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So all the project speeches are within the time range. Congratulations on that. And for evaluation session, so the first evaluator is Joshua, took 3 minutes and 19 seconds within the time range. And then Abidi, 3 minutes and 45 seconds, overtime a little bit. And Cian, 3 minutes and 8 seconds within the time range. And Xueqi is 2 minutes and 33 seconds, again within the time range. And so for the role players for today's meeting, our table topic evaluators took 5 minutes and 36 seconds, a little bit over time. And for our general evaluators, 6 minutes and 17 seconds, also a little bit of overtime. And grammarian Josh, 2 minutes and 23 seconds within the time range. R counter, 47 seconds. And me personally, timer until now, 1 minute and 49 seconds. And that's it for the evaluation. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you for the timer report. Now, lastly, I would like to present my GE report. I'm so sorry to everybody that my energy level today is low because I just took my vaccine yesterday and I've been actually having fever since last night. And today I actually am on MC as well, hence my energy is low. But all of you had kept the meeting in high energy. Yes, Minkan, yes, it was AZ vaccine. So I would like to give my report. Firstly, the agenda was shared with me 1 day before the meeting. It allows me to prepare because I had to understand about the team and also I need to understand about the flow of the meeting as well so that I can expect or manage my time and how we can drive this meeting in a successful manner. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing the agenda with me. And here I would like to congratulate to the clubs, to both clubs, UN and MIA, for achieving your 10 DCPs. Wow, such a great achievement that you guys have managed to achieve it before end of the term. And yeah, end of June, it will be the end of term for 2020 and 2021, but you guys have achieved 10 DCPs before the deadline. Kudos to you. Now, for the benefit of guests, DCP is a distinguished club performance. It's like your KPI for the company. You have revenue, profit, and cash flow KPI and such. In Toastmaster, we have DCPs. So achieving 10 over 10, which means that you are a president, I think it's a president distinguished club. But I noticed one mistake in the agenda. Sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong. Is both clubs also from area W1?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Because in the agenda, I noticed area W1 and area W3 in the agenda top left.
It was a mistake.
No worries. But I like the fact how you guys included your DCP goals into the agenda. And it was a well-structured agenda as well. The meeting was started on time, and I love the energy demonstrated by some of the key role players and also some of the guests into tonight's meeting. Minkang, when the meeting was started on time, Minkang actually urged everyone to turn on the camera. And Minkang also promoted word of the day in the chat box. Now, I also love the energy by our table topic master, TTM, DJ Ash. Yeah, DJ Ash is in the house. DJ, he addressed and gave a summary for all the participants' speeches. That's very important because it actually let people to know that you pay attention to their speeches, and that's very crucial. And the topics that DJ has prepared were actually right and appropriate, yet engaging, and also engaging topics for the participants. And one thing, he noticed that one of our speakers, Xueqi, she's not from Malaysia, and he changed the topic in order to accommodate. That's very, very good because sometimes we need to pay attention to our speakers. They might not from the same background or maybe same country like we do. Thank you. And I also love the energy that demonstrated by our Toastmaster of the evening, Sean. Sean, he actually kept his camera on throughout the whole time during the break time, because break time is also our fellowship time. You guys were trying to engage the guests and also the people during the break time. That was very, very good. Now, I would like to share some of the points for room for improvement. For SAA and our Grammarian, perhaps you can turn on your camera when you call the meeting to order. I think that's very crucial because it actually demonstrates respect to our fellow guests in the meeting. But if you're not able to turn on, perhaps you can address why you're not able to turn on, perhaps due to the internet issue, of which our TTE Huimen she did. Thank you. And also, I noticed that this meeting was recorded, and in many situations, sometimes we need to ask for consent for the fellow guests, because some people, they might not feel comfortable of being recorded. So perhaps this is just my personal opinion, because I came across quite a number of meetings, and the meetings always, during the meeting, the TM or the SA, they always ask for the consent to record the meeting. Perhaps you guys can practice the same, but that is just my personal opinion. Voting for the best speaker, I think we can utilize the functions of Zoom because there is a voting function in Zoom. I guess that will be more, I would say, efficient instead of using Google Form, because we had quite a number of technical difficulties when we try to vote for the best speakers or best evaluators, where we couldn't access to the link, but perhaps we could use the function in Zoom. Lastly, we can also abuse the chat box. Grammarian, you can always give some reminder like, please continue to use word of the day, Exhilarated, in the chat box. Or you can also, some of the, I would say, guests or maybe role players, you can hide up a little bit, by sharing some of your thoughts, some word of encouragement in the chat box. You don't need to do it during the speech by the speakers. You can do it after the speech. You can give some word for encouragement and such. That actually helps to boost some of the, I would say, esteem for our speakers. Nevertheless, I love how the meeting was conducted in such a structured manner. And thank you for all the key role players, especially the evaluators and also the speakers, for driving this meeting in a successful manner. Lastly, I would like to congratulate all the maiden speakers as well for our Kenny and also Resmi. With that, I would like to pass the floor back to Min Kang.
Yes, thank you, our G, for such a wonderful evaluations. Now, as we are running out of time quite a lot, so I would try to speed things up by presenting the award ceremony. So let me share my screen first. Award UMMIA Toastmaster Club Joint Meeting Award Session. Present. Okay. Best Table Topic Award goes to who? Goes to Peter, no, I'm just kidding. Goes to Carl. Congratulations, Carl, for being our best table topic speaker. And best speech award, you will see who is the green color. Anyone? I suppose it was me, but too bad it wasn't. It was Malcolm. Congratulations, Malcolm. You are the best prepared speech speaker.
Thank you.
And last but not least, best evaluator awards. Wow, it was close. We have two winners here, 31.3%. And who was the orange color and the red color? It was Sheeran? Obviously no. DJH? No, he was a table topic master. So there were Joshua and RBD. Congratulations, Joshua and RBD, for being our best evaluators for tonight. And I will end this presentation award by passing back to President for announcement and closing remarks. I invite President of UMTMC Ken.
Oh, thank you, Min Kang, for the introduction. So I'll move on with the closing speech first for this meeting. So well, again, for 2 hours, we have come to the end of today's joint meeting between University of Malaya, and MIA Toastmaster Club. And again, I want to thank you all for being here to make this joint meeting a possible and a successful one. And in fact, even we are still having online meeting, but that does not stop us and limit us to reach and to connect with other clubs, like what we are doing today, a joint meeting between two clubs. And today's meeting is actually great, and it is a great experience to all of us. And I believe that we all need to have more joint meeting in the future, simply because it is such a way that we can see how Toastmaster Club, by having a joint meeting, they can connect and collaborate together. And I hope that we all have a great time here. Today we have members completing icebreaking speeches, Resmi and Kenny. Congratulations to you all for making your first step in making a first speech, and of course the first step in the Toastmaster pathway, and also becoming a new members and continue. And in fact, we will continue. This Toastmaster will continue to be a place to help people to build their public speaking skills. And I want to thank you all, especially the evaluators, for the fantastic feedback given to the speakers to help them to improve in their public speaking. And also a special thanks to our general evaluator for the generous feedback and comment. We definitely will strive to provide an even better meeting experience to all of us. And in fact, today's meeting has been wonderful. We have speakers presenting on their icebreaking speeches where we get the chance to learn more about them. We have speakers presenting on the type of communication style where we can see that how different types of communication styles can impact people, and also how different communication styles, when they come together, they can be a wonderful team. They can complement each other. And also to our table topic master of today's very interesting topic on the Raya theme. And with that, that is the end of today's meeting. I want to thank you all again for attending this meeting, and I hope that you can learn something today and have a meaningful time here, and thank you. And now moving on to the announcement session. So I'll start off with our club first. So University of Malaya Toastmaster Club will have our meetings on the 7th of July. 7th of June. So you can feel free to drop by as guests to observe our club meetings. So now I'll pass the floor to MIA Toastmaster Club for the club meeting announcement.
Okay. The only announcement we have is actually we are going to have our next meeting on the 9th June, 7 to 9 p.m. So if you're interested, then let me know. It's on the second Wednesday. Yeah, so you can just come and visit us, right?
Okay, may I have Jeff, Sin, do you have any more announcements?
No more already. Yeah.
Okay. Peter, do you have any announcements regarding your club?
Not at the moment. Thank you, Min Kang.
Okay, great. Okay, do I miss anybody from other clubs? And if no, I will
invite you to his meeting because our meeting clash date.
Or perhaps we can ask for the guests to share their experience we have, I can see that we have two guests here.
Yes, of course. Patty, would you like to share your feedback about this meeting as you observe and enjoy?
Right, hello. Sorry. This is my second meeting, so yeah, I mean it's quite interesting as well. And yeah, I do enjoy with this meeting, and yeah, congratulations for everyone for giving out the speech. Such a very memorable thing. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks. How about Go? You wanna
Yeah,
share a
thank
few
you.
words?
This is actually my third meeting among the clubs. I feel this atmosphere is really relaxed to speak, and also the way you present the award is actually very interesting. That is the first time I saw among the clubs. So yes, that's it. Thank you.
All right. So I shall now pass it back to Kenteng or Xian to end the meeting, to adjourn the meeting.
Kenteng.
Okay, thank you. So again, thank you all for today's having your time, even if this might be a holiday if you are students, for joining this meeting. This has been a wonderful time, and I hope that you all appreciate and enjoy every moment and every second of it. And with that, that marks the end of this meeting, and I call meeting adjourned. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night and good day.
Happy Raya. Although it's too
Yeah,
late.
Photo.
Happy Raya. Don't forget.
Do you need a
Happy
photo?
Raya. Bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
I shall now end the meeting in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes.
Photo session.
Photo session. That's the most
Oh,
important
photo
one.
session.
Okay.
Oh no. Anyone would like to take a photo? Kenteng, would you do it?
Yeah, I'll take it when I shift to gallery view first.
Okay, everyone smile for 20 seconds. Okay. 3, 2. Are you ready, Kenteng? 3, 2, 1, smile. You're done?
One more.
Okay, one more. Funny moment. Funny face. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Done. Great. Thank you.
Thank you,
for joining our
everyone.
meeting.
Good night.
Okay,
Have a
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Okay. Salam
Bye,
Raya.
everyone.
End the meeting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.